on the Sports Fix line with us right now, Scott Schmidt, president of Craction.com. We've had this game going now for a couple years with our show in our area, and it's been around for a little bit longer, Craction.com. And Scott, every time you're on, when it's been a little while, I know we pick up some listeners, and you're on a different time period, so I thought, it'd be a good idea for you to just give a quick synopsis here, a quick outline of what Craction is for the uninitiated out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Matt. I appreciate being back on. I always enjoy our discussions, usually on Friday afternoon, so it's good to be coming up towards the fall. Hopefully the weather stays nice and warm, but to be talking football, that's the exciting part. Craction, in a nutshell, about 10 years ago, I wanted to create a game that essentially fixed the flaws of fantasy football. The ability to stay connected more with a bigger group of people, not always competing one-on-one with someone, making every game, every minute of every game matter. Every point has some value to it, not where you're just simply watching individual players, making sure your defense is trying to hold up. We want to watch games. We want to experience outcomes. And why I created Craction was to fix all those flaws so that we were, watching the Sunday night game between Arizona and San Francisco, and it made sense for us to watch it. And we were glued to our television. For us that are living parts of the country where the weather isn't always the greatest, we're watching those games on ESPN and stuff, and it's a lot nicer when it means something versus just trying to gut through the commentary. So that's why I created Craction. What Craction is simply you pick 5 games each week against the point spread, and you score points or lose points based on how your team does against that point spread. For example, if Green Bay was favored by 3 and they were playing, let's just say Chicago, and if they win the game by 10, you take the margin of victory, subtract out the point spread, and that's the points you get. So it would have been 7 points. If you would have picked Chicago in that game, you actually would have lost 7 points. So it's very volatile. The points go up and down even throughout the game. At one point in time, you may be up 30 points in a game, and 10 minutes later, you might be, down to only being up 14 points if a couple touchdowns scored or a field goal or whatever. So it's really volatile, and it, like I said, it makes every point of every game matter. It just creates excitement.
It is really exciting. We've been lucky enough to be a part of it here in the North Country the last couple of seasons, and it like you said, with fantasy, you have a vested interest in certain players, but in Craction, you have vested interest in actual outcomes of the game, which always makes for more excitement. There's not a thing you can pick apart with that. It makes it more fun. It really does, especially for the random games. Like you said, that they're out there in Arizona, NFC West, who cares? But all of a sudden, you know what? You pick it, you hope for it, and it does matter. And I know since we've been doing this now with you for the last couple of years, having you on in a regular segment, there has been a lot of change with Craction, and I know that you've redesigned everything. You want to give us a little background to that right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're a new product still in the world, the .com world, and we're still trying to shape out what our users want, what they don't want. We try, again, our whole concept is about being simple and easy, and sometimes you have a design in your head, and when it finally gets out in the .com world, it's not quite as simple and as easy as you thought. So you go back to the drawing board, reformulate some things, move some things around. And so we're really excited about the design we have this year. We've got a really sleek black look this year, and the user registration process we simplified. Finding leagues we simplified. We're just excited about the opportunity to partner up with sports bars and businesses around the country to provide more prize options for the casual user. So we're just excited about the new site. We got our Twitter feed up there. We've got an audio video feature where anytime I'm on air around the country talking about Craction or the game, we put those segments up on air right away, and we've got some kind of funny videos that we're doing to kind of poke fun a little bit at fantasy football and some of the things that, the casual fan doesn't like about fantasy football or like to stay away from. So, we're excited about all the different opportunities that our site offers us this year. We just feel like we give a better user experience for people.
Well, it's Craction.com. It's certainly very user-friendly, and it's definitely, as we said, a very fun game. Scott, I appreciate you taking the time. I know we had a mix-up on the scheduling here today on the show, so I'm thankful that you were gracious enough to join us, and I look forward to chatting throughout the season.
No, absolutely. I appreciate it, man. And just a couple things. One, every grand prize this year for all of our leagues, college, pro, everything, they get a trip for 2 to Las Vegas. We're having a Craction Champions Weekend in Las Vegas. hotel to be determined. Still in negotiations with a few out there as to which one it's going to be. So that's a pretty cool grand prize for all of our grand prize leagues. And sports bars in the Tri-County area, give us a call, give us an email. We are setting up leagues for sports bars all across the country. We've got some great success stories here in Milwaukee about some huge ROIs. It's free for you. It's free for the users. It's just a really good partnership. So reach out to us at info@craction.com if you're interested. Matt, I appreciate it. Looking forward to talking NFL and maybe a little college football this year as well.
Yes, sir. College is right up our angle, being this close to SU and the Big East, and we're looking forward to that. And obviously the NFL. Thanks again, Scott. Look forward to it, and I'm sure we'll be chatting again probably in just a couple weeks.